my father, who I haven't been super close with, is getting on in years. He's run into a lot of health problems. I'd have a lot more sympathy if it wasn't of his own doing. He hasn't taken care of himself from even the time when I was a kid. I can remember maybe 2 times that I saw my father run. But the really hard thing is he's getting on in years, and he's kind of reached out to me and kind of made it known he expects me to take care of him. And I'm still trying to build a life and build a family for myself. But the thing that makes it really hard is that his past. So my father is a convicted pedophile. He's registered sex offender. And I just see me taking care of him in the future, just blowing up this life that I've worked so hard to build. I mean, I've got a girlfriend right now and really happy, and everything looks like it's going to be the best thing in the world. And only 2 people in the world know about this, my 2 best friends that I look at as brothers. And my brother, unfortunately, is in and out of jail, and my mom is currently taking care of his newly born son. So she's wrapped up, and she's doing great. She's really, really great woman, saint, honestly, to deal with my dad for so long. They're divorced now, and she's remarried, but it's just so hard to look at this man and see nothing that I can look up to or nothing I can admire. And I look at my friends' relationships with their fathers and brothers, and I'm so jealous, and I just don't know what taking care of someone who in society is looked at as the lowest of the low. It's hard for me to imagine. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, one, man, I feel honored that you called in. That was the first time you've said a lot of that out loud, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could hear it. And so whatever you've done today or whatever you'll do tomorrow, this is the bravest thing you've done in a long time, and I'm proud of you, and I'm honored that you called me.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. Here's step number 1. You have to decide to stop carrying his shame and his secrets around as though it's your burden. This is killing you. The more you keep this a secret and you tell yourself that this is somehow a reflection of you, it's like you drinking poison and hope he gets sick. The secrets and the shame are killing you. I can hear it on you, man. And you can't buy houses out from under that. You can't out-earn that. You can't out-discipline yourself in the Navy out of that. Do you get what I'm saying? Does that resonate?
Yeah.
You've been carrying this for a long-ass time, haven't you?
I have, and it started when I was younger, protecting it from my friends, and then I would make these good friends, and then one day, hey Lars, Robbie isn't going to be able to come over anymore. And it wasn't until I was a little bit older that I found out why, and I felt like I worked so hard, and at every step he's taken away things from me that are out of my control, and the one thing I can control is who I tell.
Yeah. Did your dad hurt your friends too?
I don't think so. I think it's just they found out he was on the registry, and it's I really want to believe for everything in my body that it was a one time or whenever that went down before I was born, and it ended there. But his actions, he's done other weird things. When I've had girlfriends, he stalks their social media and stuff, and it's just hard to find anything. If I were to have to defend this man in court, I would not have a good case.
Right. And so you can hope and wish this was a one-time thing years ago, but your gut tells you differently.
Yeah.
And I want to challenge a core belief you have in the center of your chest. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. You have more than one thing you can control, which is not telling anybody this. Another thing you can control is letting him carry all of his crap and you stop carrying it. And you can say, my dad was a very sick man, continues to be a sick man. And has never shown retribution, has never gone through the behavioral stuff to get well, we've never talked about it. He's never wept in front of me and talked about what he's taken from our whole family, blowing up the whole world, hurting all these kids. None of that has ever happened. And that is a cornerstone of redemption. And so I'm not going to not do these things because of what society says. I could care less. And you can lie to yourself, brother. You don't not like him because he's overweight and doesn't jog. He grosses you out because he's a person who has chosen disgust as his essence. Fair?
Yes.
Okay.
Very fair.
Own that. Because I'm listening to somebody, and I'm got a picture in my head of a guy who is not going to redeem a family tree, but you have been tilling the soil and you've planted a new one.
That's what I've always wanted.
I know, but that's what you're doing.
My biggest dream since I've been a man is to change my last name.
Then go change it, brother. There's no disgrace in that. And if you've listened to this show for 1 year, 2 year, 5 years, you know I'm all about redemption and I'm all about people freeing themselves from being haunted from their past. I wrote a whole book on it. And how dare you not deal with anything, not confront anything, not say anything, and then call your son who's trying to build a new life that you destroyed and demand he take care of you? No. Somewhere in your guts, brother, you either think you've got a fault here, somewhere in your guts you think you did something wrong, or you think you can fix this. And dude, I want to free you from that. You cannot. You don't have that kind of power. Here's the more damning thing. He could have, and he has chosen not to. And that means he's left one more victim in his wake, and that's you. And for that, dude, that breaks my heart, and I'm sorry. And if you were sitting right here, I'd hug you.
I can't tell you the weight you just lifted off me.
Is that fair?
Yes.
And we're not going to swear at people. We're not going to curse at people. We're going to keep our dignity and our character about us. You're working too hard to change, to plant a new family tree and to tend to this young tree as it's growing. So you're not going to resort to the world and throwing rocks and sticks and grenades at your old man. He's cashed himself out of your life. And for that in and of itself is a tragedy. I wouldn't wish that on any young man in the world to have their father cash them out.
Thank you.
You're going to have a season of being real sad, Sean, okay? Just want to tell you what's coming. You're going to be real sad. But if you will engage in that sadness and not try to flex and work out and discipline and whatever, Xanax it away, you will be free on the other side of this thing. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Tell me what you're feeling.
It's mixed. It's hard because one of the people I trust the most in the world, my friend, he's a similar family situation to me, but just different vices. Like, and I look at him like a brother, and he's someone I look up to. And when I talk to him, he had a very different reaction, but he's a single guy. He's not a father like you. I feel like it's a different perspective. And I think when you're a father, you kind of see the danger more clearly than anything else. And I feel at the same time that you've given me the tools I need to move forward and not feel accountable for my father's sins.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah.
And can I tell you, if this is lingering around back there, if you brought some friends over and your dad may have hurt one of your friends or you don't know, that's not on you, dude. You're a kid inviting buddies over to play. It's not on you. And if you brought girlfriends to your house and your dad was creepy and you tried to defend him and it's not on you, okay? Be free of that. You're a kid.
I've kept all of the women away from him since I've been a man on purpose. I can see the way he looks at them, and I just know I don't.
You know what I call
I know
that?
Something hasn't changed.
You know what I call that? Wise. I call that an outstanding young man. I call that a great boyfriend. I don't call that a bad son.
Thank you.
Okay? That's what good men do, is they take their girlfriends into a situation, and when they get sick at the way another man is looking at them, they get them out of that situation. Good on you.
Yeah. I don't.
Can I tell you this? I'm not worried about the present, a future danger. I'm not. Dude, you're a 26-year-old. Are you still enlisted?
I'm active duty, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't fight you. You'd knock my head off, right? An out-of-shape old man. Like, I'm not worried about what happens next. The reason I don't want you around this man is he has never had a reckoning with you about what he did to you, to those young kids, to the family, to the ecosystem, to his neighborhood. He's never had a reckoning. And when a dad doesn't atone for his sins with his sons carry them, and it buries them. And I'm sick of it.
That's the thing. He's never been accountable.
He never will be.
He got away with it. My mom stayed with him.
Coward.
He didn't go to jail. The family basically washed it all away for him, and he's never had to deal with the consequences of his actions. And
he has. He has, dude. Not in the ways that society wants him to, but he's dealt with it. You know how I know? He lost his son. And he's too much of a coward to reckon with it. So what does he do? He tries to get you back by dumping a whole dump truck full of responsibilities in your front yard, the yard that you have worked really hard to make, because he gave you nothing. How dare he show up with a dump truck and put all that in your front yard?
Thanks.
Okay.
I've never had this conversation before. I don't know.
Here's the exercise I want you to do.
React, but I'm thankful.
No, here's the exercise, okay? Listen to the exercise. I've recommended people do this before, and I'm gonna probably recommend this 1,000 more times before the show's over. But here's what I want you to do, okay? I want you to go to a Lowe's or Home Depot when you get off shift, and I want you to get a roll of duct tape, and I want you to get 3 cinder blocks, okay?
Okay.
And I want you to tear off a piece of duct tape on each one of those cinder blocks, and I want you to get a Sharpie, and I want you to write on them. Never told me the truth in my house. Hurt and abused children. And you write whatever you know to be true. And I know you're soft pedaling the stories that you grew up with. I know that. And I know that mom got out of there. I know brother has been through some kind of hell too, because he wouldn't be living his life if his nervous system wasn't haywire also, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Here, I want you to write them on that cinder block, and I want you to carry them around your yard. Are you on base or are you off?
I'm off base.
Okay.
I've been in a while.
Okay, I want you to carry them around in your backyard until your arms burn, and I want you to throw it on the ground and say the words out loud, I'm not carrying this anymore, and I want you to tear off that tape and throw it away. And then I want you to pick up the next one and go again. I want there to be a physical memory of, I set this down and I don't carry it anymore. This is my dad's sins. I'm not carrying them because they're not mine. You'll have your own. You'll screw stuff up. You'll have your own stuff to carry, but I'm not carrying that anymore. I'm not carrying his secrets. I'm not carrying his dirtiness. I'm not carrying it.
Okay, I will.
And here's one last thing I want to caution you about, okay?
Yeah.
I think I've told this 1,000 times on the show. I was doing a practicum during my grad school, and I'll just cut to the chase. One of the psychologists I was working with, he gave me a really important piece of wisdom. We looked at a young kid, and I said, hey, this one's going to be all right. And he goes, why do you think that kid's going to be all right? The kid had gone through hell. And I said, well, he's got straight A's. He's doing great. And he looked at me and said, John, straight A's can be a trauma response too. Your need for control and for perfection and for external validation, for medals and for acknowledgments and for a home and then another home, and you're probably saving up to get a down payment to buy another home, that won't fill that gap you have in the center of your chest. Okay?
Yeah.
That will heal from the inside out when you're ready. My promise to you is it can heal. And it will be way harder than running 20 miles, but you can. And you will bring peace to great, great grandkids that you will never meet if you heal that from the inside out.
Thank you, Dr. Young.
Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
All right. Brother, you call me anytime. I'm going to send you both my books here just as a gift. I know it's just a small token, but I want you to read through them, okay? And I'll hook you up with them for free. You call me anytime, and I'll walk with you. Nothing breaks my heart more than somebody who hurts kids, followed only by somebody who abandons their kids. And both of this happened to you. And I'm sorry. And at the same time, I'm overcome with how proud I am of you and the steps you're taking to plant and tend to a new family tree. Generations from now, kids will bask in the shade of this new family tree because you did this work. You're going to get burned, you're going to have scars, and you will bring peace to future generations.